show some love to my homeboy, Basic Knowledge, all the way from Brunswick, Georgia. Show some love for Basic Knowledge, y'all.
I'm all kinds of juice to like get to do this today, man. Like I won my first poetry slam on the stage right there when this was LJ's. And Z93 was giving away money for people to do poetry and stuff. Like this feel like the first time, you know what I'm saying, again or whatever. So I'm gonna dedicate this whole poetry show to a man named Peter Christopher. He was an English teacher at Georgia Southern University that started like teaching my work in creative writing classes. And he analyzed it and read it in a way that I didn't when I was writing it. And he told me I was a good writer, but I'd never be great because there are things that I'm afraid to write about. And for the most part, you know what I'm saying, I never wanted to write about like my daddy. You know, I had a good daddy, grew up with him, everything. I just didn't like him, you know? So, you know, it was a lot of stuff that I wouldn't write about, a lot of stuff I wouldn't say. And he was like, until you start to say, you know, what you feel, start writing poetry about yourself, you'll never be a great writer. So I'm putting together a show right now. It's called Things of Men. And it's me writing about stuff that I feel, you know? So everything I do right here is like real stories, you know, real people I know, real everything. So I guess I'm gonna do like 3 daddy type poems. This first one, I knew this woman who represented the United States in the Olympics for Taekwondo. She got pregnant by a cat who worked at an aerospace plant in Georgia and never saw the daddy. Now, she was supposed to lose the baby, and she was talking to me about it, like crying, you know, one day or whatever, and asked me if I believed in miracles. Like, you know, I'm a spiritual individual, but I don't believe in religion, so I told her no. So she told me a story or whatever, and a lot of it sounded like poetry to me. And she said, if you write about it, it'd make me feel better. So this is what I wrote for her. I wonder if my father was lost when he soul-searched his semen to find me. For I find something soothing in the synchronicity of his embrace. In hugs he squeezes tight like he wants our hearts to touch. Searching my face like the heritage edition of Where is Waldo, he holds on as if he's found himself in me. And at the release he'd be reintroduced to that essence like a loose lady being laid back into virginity. Letting go slow like a shepherd does not his first sheep, but the first he gets to keep. Our lesser days are not confined to the list of days that contain less days, but the chart of ways that we obtain after we learn to behave. It took my thoughts to travel a primal way for me to understand this hug is what a man feels like. And even the wrong in this man feels right. Like the lies that granted me the joys of Santa's flights at night, or the sight to see more days after mornings of mourning, and I mourned. For a baby still living and a mother still loving with a woman I only knew as well as the time clock. And I've always had a certain affinity for abandoned birds, so I helped her warm her eggs at work. I stood strong like the tallest tree who'd ever climbed, and she leaned into me like the wind as my palms paced across the globe. We talked about where we're going in life. And Brandy told me she was going to be a mommy. Laid her head on my chest like it made her life weightless as I massaged his shoulders. She said, my baby is not supposed to make it. He can't pee and he's having problems with his kidneys and he can't live outside me, but who'd I be not to give him the opportunity to live? He feels so alive inside me, I'd be pregnant forever to keep us together. I once feared pregnancy more than death, but now I fear death more than this pregnancy, because as long as I'm here, he's here. So I pulled her near. Placed my lips to her belly button as if it were an ear, and sang songs of all she had said were yesterdays and my voice could charm tomorrows. And I couldn't carry a tune if it had a handle connected to it, but to her, these songs are what a man sounds like. Like her need is what a siren song sounds like to me. And I gladly shipwreck my sailboat on her seashore so she can talk more, because 8 hours really ain't that long, but mama, for these 8 hours you don't have to be strong. And I may never see your baby after your baby's born, but I'll never forget the sound of a fetus moving, or the weight of a miracle ever since you laid your world in my hands. Or my fingers tap dance atop your tummy and how it tapped back. I'm tapping into emotion I've only ever seen before. And a man who found me in some lost semen searching for a greater connection, connecting to a greater being a man.
All right.